Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hold on, guys. I've had quite the experiment here. Dr. Beaker here. Give me a second to straighten myself up. It's been a rough one, I'm telling ya. Can't even begin. Don't even know where to begin. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I look like I'm a mess, but I promise I'm not. I promise. What a surprise that was. I've done that experiment a zillion times. I've never arrived at a result. Boy, oh boy, I'm telling you, it's been quite the time. Times on times of trying to get things. Where is that coming from? What is that racket? My Lanta. Well, anyway, I've been working here in the laboratory exploring and discovering wonderful things about the earth that we live in here. I'm still working on finding the characteristics of the unknown. Well, the unknown, you see, is the unknown. I don't even know what the unknown is. That's been the trouble. It's been quite the trouble, I'm telling you. I continue to run my series of tests to help me make my discoveries. Today, I'm working on omnipresent, you see. Now, it's a big deal. Come on now. Anyway, it's a big deal. Let me define it for you. If it were for you, me to do it in the most scientific way that I know how, omnipresent means present. Present everywhere, all at the same time. All at the same time. Oh, now I gotta get out of here. Seems like there's so much commotion going on. Oh, boy. Anyway, I don't know. Elmer and, what's her name again? Miss Ferdinand. Oh, boy. I can't keep them alone at any time. I gotta get out of here and go and handle them. Hold on a second, guys. I don't know if I'll be back. I don't know. I'll try. Bye.
That Dr. Beaker, he is something else. We've been friends for a while now, and he's always on to the next big discovery. I tell ya, he's one of a kind. If you ever met him, I'm sure you'd really like him too. Dr. Beaker, Dr. Beaker. You know, what he's talking about with being omnipresent has me thinking about a verse in the Bible. That verse in the Bible reads from Deuteronomy 31, chapter 31, verse 6. It says, "Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or terrified, for the Lord your God is with you. He will never leave you or forsake you." But what if we don't see God? I guess that is a good question for you to ask. Let's look at Isaiah 40, verse 28. It says, "Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable." And then another verse in the Bible that I'm reminded of comes from Psalms 147, verse 5. It says, "Great is the Lord, abundant in power. His understanding is beyond measure." You know, Dr. Beaker, in his situation with the air that was blowing on him, he may have not seen where the wind was coming from, but boy, he could feel it. Kind of seems like him and I had similar hair, but that's a different story. But his hair was blowing from the wind, and he was wondering, where was that wind coming from? He couldn't see it. He didn't know where it was, But what he did know is it was there because his hair was going all over the place. Now, this whole situation with Mr. Beaker is similar to how it is with God sometimes. We may not see him, but we feel him. Almost like the wind when you're outside and the only thing that you can see are the trees moving or the grass swaying, a flag going back and forth. You don't actually see the wind that's making that happen, but you see the movement that the wind is causing to happen on something you can physically see. So if I take this cloth here and I wrap it into a flag and I move it, it's moving because of the momentum in the wind. But when a real wind comes and it blows and it moves it, you can't see the wind of my breath, but you can see it move on this homemade flag. So God is similar. And Mr. Beaker's situation is similar too. He couldn't see the wind. You couldn't see the wind of my breath, but you know it's there. Just as God is there. You may not always see him, but he's always, always there. We can go back up to the verse from Isaiah 40 verse 28 when I said, but what about when you don't see him? What about when you don't see God? Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is an everlasting God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. He does not grow faint and weary. His understanding is unsearchable. So when you don't see him, you can remind yourself that the Lord is everlasting, that he's the creator to the beginning of the earth. If you can even imagine that, to the ends of the earth. We might not see where the beginning happened or where the end happens, but we know it was there, and we know that God was the one that made everything that we see that is good and right and pure happen. So we don't need to grow weary or faint in understanding, because God is unsearchable, and every part about him has an answer in him. Our minds might not be able to wrap around it, but he, the God of the unsearchable, knows and sees and understands all things. So as I was saying about Dr. Beaker, we may not see the wind, just like we may not see God, but boy, when we really call on his name, when we get counsel from our friends or our instructors, from people that love the Lord, or when we spend time in worship, prayer, and reading the word, or living our daily life, doing anything, God is there in the good, in the bad, in the hard, all of it. He is there because he never ever leaves you. Joshua 1:9, like I read, he never leaves you. So I just want you to remember today, even when you cannot see God, he is always, always there.
Whew, this whole omnipresent thing still befuddles me. But I'm telling you, there's gotta be answers out there somewhere. There's gotta be. Onward, upward, and away I go. Till next time, folks. Hi-ho!